Hello viewers. So I hope you must have watched my earlier video on the experimental research design. These are the series of the videos which are purely dedicated to the explanation of experimental research design, because it is little bit critical to understand this kind of research design. So I'm taking up the topics, you can say in a nutshell, to give you the in-depth understanding of the same. So in my previous video, I have explained you about the terms we are using in the experiments, and then also I have explained you about the principles of the experimental design which we are applying to minimize the effect of the extraneous variable. And this video will talk about mainly the pre-experimental design, what all includes in pre-experimental design, along with the examples, to give you the better understanding of the same. And also after watching this video, you may be able to understand that whether you are opting for this kind of design in your research, or you are feeling to go for it, or maybe you will be able to understand that if you are maybe sometimes right now you're going for a particular research, but precisely sometimes you don't understand that yes, in this I'm using this kind of design. So to give you the clear understanding of the pre-experimental design, this video is for you. We will be taking up all the types of pre-experimental design one by one along with the example. So now, without taking too much of time, let's move on to the presentation and have a better understanding of the pre-experimental design. So just have a quick revision first of all about the types of experimental research design, that is pre-experimental, quasi-experimental, true experimental and statistical or formal design. Let's begin with pre-experimental design. Now, as you can see in the slide, the pre-experimental design, this design do not use any randomization procedure to control the effect of extraneous variable. In my earlier videos, I have already explained the meaning of extraneous variable. So here I will not repeat the same, but just to have a quick recall in your mind, the extraneous variable are those variables which we do not consider in our study. In this experimental design, the researcher do not go for any randomization procedure, so the extraneous variable effect cannot be minimized. That's why the internal validity is questionable in this kind of experimental design. Every design has its limitation, although we use variety of designs in variety of research, but as the extraneous variable effect is there, so the internal validity is questionable in this design. Now here I'll also explain the meaning of internal validity so that it will be clear in your mind further. When you talk about the internal validity, it indicates that whether the independent variable was the sole cause of the change in dependent variable. Because whenever we talk about the experimental design, we have two variables, that is independent and dependent. And as I am saying that the randomization process is not there, so definitely the outcome is not, we cannot say that when the outcome is there, it is purely because of this, the effect of the dependent variable and the independent variable is questionable. I cannot say that the change in the dependent variable is purely due to the independent variable and no other variable is intervening in it. However, we use this experimental design in exploratory research, and because of this validity, question of validity, we cannot classify it as a true experiment. Mainly, when you talk about the pre-experimental design, we have one-shot design, which is also known as after-only design. In so many books, you will get this design as by name as after-only design. Then we have one group pre-test, post-test design, which usually you will get to know by the before-after without control group design and static group design. We'll be taking up the designs one by one. The first is the one-shot design. In one-shot design, it is a single measure is recorded after the treatment is administered. Now again, to have a quick recall, treatment, that means the change or the effect which we are introducing into the group, to the experimental group. So that is known as treatment. Here the treatment word, because whenever you go for the design or the experimental design, always remember the terms and the terminologies associated with it. That is treatment, control group, extraneous variable, confounded relationship. That all should be clear in your mind whenever you're going for this kind of research design. So it is in this, a single measure is recorded after the treatment is administered. The study lacks any comparison because we are going for one-shot design. So here we cannot compare anything, or we are not going for any extraneous influence, control of extraneous influence. And in this, the test unit are either self-selected or arbitrarily selected by the researcher. So usually the units which are being selected for the experiment, for the test, are being selected by the researcher, and that is usually be arbitrarily because it is not including any randomization. In this, when we talk about this design, we take this X denoted as an experiment, treatment, and then after having the treatment, O1 is representing the observation. So we give the treatment and then we have the observations. Let's understand it further with the examples. Here you can see the two examples I have taken to give you the further clear understanding of this one-shot design. Like for an instance, if we are studying the effect of counseling session on the attitude of selected students who all are academically weak. Now sometimes we in education, if you see, some students are not performing that well in their academics, or they may have certain reason. So if the counseling sessions are to be provided to them, and then we want to see the change in them, so definitely we can go for this one-shot design. Here we are not taking any pre into consideration, but after giving the session, what is the effect, or what is the whether there's any change in their attitude, and then we'll be selecting certain variables to measure those attitudes or the things. We will be definitely developing a scale to measure that change. So definitely this one-shot design is useful. Further, recently, if you are seeing in this pandemic situation, a lot of you can say online teaching pressure is on not only the students but also on the teachers. So if you are conducting a survey of teachers in a selected area to assess the impact of online teaching on their health primarily, and maybe the other related parameters you are considering, maybe the work-life balance and other parameters. So this is also an example of one-shot design. I hope this one-shot design is now clear in my viewers' mind. Let's move on to the further another type of pre-experimental design, that is one group pre-test post-test design. Now here you can see we have included pre and post. So definitely we'll be having the two observations into it. So as you can see in the diagram, I'm just underlining the last point of this slide, that is O1 and O2. So we have one observations before the experiment and then after the experiment. So in this design, usually the subject, the experimental group, are measured before and after the treatment. Now here we have a comparison. So definitely it is having the comparison. But when we go for the comparison, sometimes the time difference is there, or sometimes some other changes may acquire. Sometimes the element which we are considering in our research may go out. So definitely this particular design may suffer from maturation, mortality, testing effects, and history. However, it is good enough to go for this pre-test, post-test, and usually we go for this kind of test where we have two sets of observations to consider with. One thing to note it down in this is particular is that there is no control group in this. So we have experiment group and we have the observations of experiment group before the treatment and after the treatment. Let's understand this again with the further examples. That is, for an example, in maybe in an organization or in any places, if you go for the specific training and you want to check the performance of those trainees after the training, so definitely you can go for this kind of pre-test and post-test design. Again, taking back the previous example, that is of the counseling session. If you are taking up the student groups and you are recording their attitude, or you are having some readings of their attitude before the session and then giving after the session, then this will be coming under this kind of design where we say pre-test, post-test, and before and after. So definitely this particular design is maybe more effective than the previous one, because here we are having the two point of observations, once before the experiment and before the treatment, and another after the treatment. Then let's move on to the another and the last type of this pre-experimental design, that is the static group. Now in static group, as you can see in the slide, that is experimental group is measured after being exposed to the experimental treatment. Then we have control group here. So control group is measured without having been exposed to the experimental treatment. So we have two groups here. One is experimental group and other is control group, as you can see at the last point of this slide. And we have this treatment and then observation and experimental, and then we have a control group without any treatment. So in this, the pre-measure is no pre-measure is taken. Both groups are measured only after the treatment has been presented. So here we are not taking any pre-measurement, but we have two groups, one with
treatment, one without treatment. And here the major weakness is the lack of assurance that the groups were equal on the variable of interest prior to the treatment. Now that we have to understand very carefully, that whenever we are taking these two groups, then they should be having the equal you can say interest or variable of interest prior to the treatment. So this may be the major weakness. But however, in this, when we want to have the two groups and we want to compare something, like for an example, with the example you will be having the more understanding of this particular design, that is the static group design. That is, sometimes you want to see the effect of training precisely. So you can have two groups, that is, one is the experimental group and other is the control group, and this experimental group will have the trainings, and this control group will have no such kind of trainings, will not receive no trainings. So definitely you can see the effect of that training, because if you see the training and development departments of the organizations, they spend a lot on the training. So specifically, if they want to measure that whether these trainings are really improving the efficiency of the employees or improving you can say the knowledge level or whatever the parameters, so definitely this check will help to understand the organization that whether this training is really helping the employees or not. So then we can have two groups, and then after introducing the experiment, we can have the you can say the readings of both the groups and can check the difference in both. So this was the example of static. So I explained you the one-shot design, I explained you the pre-test, post-test, and I explained you the static group. And this was mainly we have under the pre-experimental design and the types of experimental design, in which I explained you about the pre-experimental design. Understanding of pre-experimental design is very important. Choosing your topic, choosing your research area, and then deciding that which type of design will be more suitable for you, because each and every design has its own limitation and has its own benefit and advantages. So as I again say, it depends on the researcher's objective, which kind of design is choose, and then the observations are statistically evaluated accordingly. So with this, I would like to thank you all, and for any doubt, because definitely some doubts definitely will raise out in the minds of the researchers who are working on this design. So kindly mail those doubts on this learnwithharmony@gmail.com. Thank you.